What's up, everybody?
Hey y'all!
It's your girl Chanel, and yes, we are back with another episode of Keeping It Ugly with Chanel and
Chantel. Hey y'all! Spring is here and the weather is warming up, and I know everybody is eager to get outside, myself included. I'm tired of being in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, COVID has other plans, and we're all still inside a little bit longer. Hopefully, not too long, y'all. But since we're spending so much time at home, I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of looking at the same thing, the same decorations, the same spaces. So, since the seasons have changed, it's a perfect time to talk about revamping your space.
Yes. So, our guest today is a guru of all things design. She is a woman of class who enjoys the finer things in life and knows how to put designs together effortlessly. Now, even though most of us have recently got our stimmies and we could go out and splurge on all the expensive things for our home, we asked her to keep it ugly with us and give us a few tips on ways we can refresh our homes on a budget. Welcome, certified interior designer and CEO of Stelluti Interiors, Bella Stelluti. What's up, Bella?
Hey, Bella.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Yes, you do your thing with the design, honey. We love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much for coming on the show and willing to share all your secrets with us. But right before we do, tell us a little bit about your background and also how did you get started in designing?
So I have always had a thing for design with both fashion and home interiors. So from cutting up pillowcases and making them into more like roomy designs and watching TV shows for cutting up wood, it's just always been a passion of mine. So anytime I can make a space more of my own, you can find me there. So
Oh, well,
Cool.
that sounds good. So you're lucky to have found something that you truly enjoy, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of people can't make money off what they enjoy, they just do it out of hobby. So at least you found something that you can do out of hobby and also make money on it and help people like us too. Okay.
Yes.
So if our spaces are looking dull, like Chantel said, what are some things that we can do budget friendly now? We
Keep
need
it
to
on a
change the
budget.
vibe. Right. On a budget, how can we change the vibe?
So I have about 6 tips for you. I would say that the first tip would be fresh flowers. It's something that is economically feasible, cost effective, budget friendly, um, and it really brightens up the space. So you can set your centerpieces for your coffee table, your kitchen table, your dresser in your bedroom. Just brightening up the space. I would say use bright colors. You know, spring is full of your pastels. Summer is your bright oranges and your pinks. So I would lean more towards those colors. White is also a great color. It opens up a space for the more neutral tone kind of people. So you mix that along with natural sunlight and some fresh air, and that is one way to revamp your space.
Wow, great tip. Now, about the flowers, I love flowers. Fresh flowers are my preference. But what do you think about fake flowers versus fresh flowers? If you're just looking to, keep it fresh, you don't want to continue to go to the market and buy fresh flowers. And also, what are some key spring flowers that you should be using?
So I will start off with key spring flowers, daffodils, tulips. Those are some of your, most known kind of flowers that are very springy. And I am an advocate for faux flowers. I don't like having to go to the grocery store, to the market, or to the florist, having to buy flowers every week or every 2 weeks and having to feed it the food and hopefully they live,
Right.
at least with faux flowers, you know for a fact that you can have them time and time again. You can switch them out with every season. You can change them out when you change out your decor, your pillows, and match it with that. So faux flowers are definitely the most cost effective and budget friendly thing that you can do.
Mm.
So where would you say we get these faux flowers from? Because I've seen some in Dollar Tree and I look at them and I'm like, they look pretty when they're all mixed together. But then when you start separating, it's like,
like,
okay, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. So how do you recommend we kind of start with that?
So that comes with creativity. So the Dollar Tree flowers, I've gotten Dollar Tree flowers before. You can spray paint them. You can make them into any color that you want. Walmart has their craft aisle that has flowers. Your local craft store, Joann's, things like that. They all have faux flowers. You can buy them on Amazon. You could even go high end, like Neiman Marcus, Neiman Marcus, Pottery Barn, they sell it. So even though I say it's budget friendly because if you do spend a lot of money on it, that's a one-time kind of splurge. Now you can have it, month after month, day after day, year after year, something that's reusable. So those are like most of the places that you can find them, but on your lower end, Walmart, I would say. Walmart, Dollar Tree.
And I seem to find success with plants. So do you think that the plants also can liven up the space? Because I only have like plants in the living room, but I never really thought, oh, hey, maybe I need a plant in the bedroom.
Absolutely. I don't know too much about plants. I've seen people with like succulents, the really thick kind of plants. So those look great. Aloe plants, they last a long time. You don't have to water them, but like every 2 to 3 weeks, they take minimal sunlight. Those are really great. I have an aloe plant upstairs that I've had for like the last 2.5 years. A friend of mine gave it to me as a gift for a new job, and it's still living. Apparently, I can keep that alive.
Good point.
Me too. I can keep a plant alive. Mm-hmm.
She does. She has these beautiful, what is it? Peace plants, and they just are so beautiful and overflowing. So. You got a green thumb, Chanel. We didn't even notice that. You have been keeping those plants alive for a while.
No, it's definitely not me. It's definitely the plant. Because we could go on vacation for a week. I could water the plant before we leave. Come back, plant just looking dead. Put some water in it. About 10 minutes later, it's back alive. You can't kill them. You cannot kill those peace plants. So my thumb isn't green, but I am going to take that tip and freshen up my home with some flowers. Maybe mix in some fresh and some not so fresh. And nobody ever noticed. Nobody ever noticed. So what else you got for us? What's the second tip?
So for the second tip would be painting. It is very budget friendly. It should be like one of the first things that you do in your space. You can paint an accent wall. You can paint all your walls. I am a neutral kind of person. So I don't like painting my walls bright colors because you never know when you want to change out the decor in your space. So I stick with one color that I know for a fact that I can mix with other colors. So my colors are always grays, golds, silvers, because I can mix in my blues and my greens, my pinks, my tans, my browns. So I stick with neutral colors. Bright white is awesome. It is something that makes your space look a lot larger than what it is. And it really draws you in. So if you're looking to, make your space look more expansive, I would say go with bright white. I love grays, gray tones, anything with a brown hint to it to kind of just draw it in. So that's my thing. But anytime that you can paint a wall, you can change, the look of your space drastically with just a shade of paint.
I know a lot of people love that neutral look where you can, kind of mix it up, change the colors quickly. But what do you think about like a pop color wall? I've seen a lot of that here recently, but it does make the room look smaller. What are some other things that you can do with that accent wall to still feel like you're in a larger space?
Wallpaper, peel and stick wallpaper. That's a really good abstract kind of wall. It does a lot to your space. I haven't done it yet, but I know that is something that is very popular today. As long as you match it with the color of the paint that you have around you, it'll really tie in and just make your space, more of what you were looking for.
You definitely got to let us know if you try that. We cannot wait to see how it turns out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely have plans for it. I'm thinking about putting wallpaper on the ceiling. I know it sounds really weird, but that along with some, really good lighting, I think it's going to definitely bring out the space.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, because I have done whole rooms in like burnt orange because I had an idea that this burnt orange would look great. and never did anything with it. It turned out to be not what I had in my head.
Right.
But like my house came with antique white walls versus like a white. So if the doors and the trimming around the doors is white, do you recommend going white still?
So my trimming is the same with the antique white. My doors, my trimming, my kickboards they're all the antique white. I am now wanting to paint them a different color. I like the darker colors, or sometimes those medium grays that have that hint of brown to it. I feel like it makes your space look more elegant. When it comes to the white doors and the white frames, I feel like that's just so last year. That's so 5 years ago. So if you are going for a bright white space, I would say make your doors and your frames your accents and change the color around and then incorporate new hardware. You can spray paint hardware. You can buy new hardware, for little to nothing.
People are going to say, okay, these white walls and these young children and older children, because they all seem to put their hands on the walls. So, I mean, what do you recommend for that, for these kids?
It's crazy because I grew up with my grandmother and she said, keep your hands off the walls.
So, yes, your hands off the walls.
I would say, don't be afraid. The magic erasers work wonders. A little bit of water, it comes off. Now, I will say it's a little different when it comes to certain types of paints. Flat paint, I don't like it at all. I know that with new construction and new builds, that's typically what the builder prefers because they're covering up all the blemishes. You don't really see it. It's not apparent to the naked eye. So that's a paint that is definitely good, for covering that up. But I prefer to stick with glosses, semi-glosses, eggshells, things that you can definitely wipe off, because when you have flat paint, that is on top of your drywall. So when you're rubbing that off, it's peeling off like paper once it gets wet. It's just very messy. But if you do go with flat paint, I will say just keep it in like your living room, your hallways, your bedrooms.
Somewhere low traffic.
Never your bathroom where there's too much moisture.
Now, speaking of your accent walls, a lot of people may get discouraged when it comes to doing it yourself. So what are some other tools they might need to grab before they get started to make sure that it still looks professional? And when people walk in, they're just going to be like, wow, this is nice. I like this.
So I'm an advocate for the blue tape. I do not have a steady hand. I attempted to paint by myself. I am one of those people who believe that I can just do it all. And I get halfway through a project to realize, why did I even start this? Let me just ask for the help that I need. But I do know that my boyfriend is Home Depot and Lowe's, and they have straight edge brushes that you can use. They have like new handy tools that you can hook up to the sticks that go straight across the very top of it without getting onto the ceiling. I wish I had known that ahead of time before I started painting, because I had paint on my ceiling myself. So definitely. So if you do not have a steady hand and you cannot utilize the tools effectively, then I would definitely say reach out to a friend or reach out to anybody else that could help you paint. But you should not pay that much money for people to paint your house. No more than $100 alone. That's just me.
On a budget, y'all. Y'all heard that? $100 is the paint job.
And make sure you have those tools that you need on hand before you start.
Do not get started without them.
Yeah. Drop cloth. Everyone needs a drop cloth. Please get a drop cloth. Because if you feel like you're not going to get paint anywhere, you're going to get paint everywhere. I'm having to pull up my carpet now because I have paint on the carpet, on the wood.
Oh, no.
Yes. And then once you get paint on something that you didn't want to get the paint on and you try to paint over it, it leaves like a whole nother color other than what you started. So yeah,
absolutely.
Just make sure you have the tools.
Absolutely.
Okay,
sure.
That is a great tip. What else you got for us?
My next tip would be reorganizing. Everyone has heard the term spring cleaning, so you are getting out with the old and with the new. You're revamping your space. So with reorganizing, that is working with, sprucing up your pantry closet, getting rid of all those old foods that you've housed since winter and fall, year prior.
Yes,
looking
check
for all
the
the expiration
expiration
dates.
date.
Yes, the
Check the
expiration date.
expiration date.
I'm telling
I like to
you,
think stuff lasts forever. Like, oh, I can use this.
yes,
No, you cannot. It's
no,
expired. 2018.
yes, yes. When it comes to the pantry, that is something that's very dear to my heart. When you buy these new homes, everybody's in with these the wire racks. I hate wire racks. It is not, it's not feasible for a pantry at all. You know, most people have, foods that tip over and things like that. You can't possibly keep your pantry organized with wire shelving.
They can
So
fall through the cracks.
right. Yes. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. So I have found a new way to try to revamp that space by buying like MDF boards and 1x2 boards and trying to cover the wire shelving. If you are not comfortable with using tools yet, saws and things like that, then you can cover the shelving for like $40, for a regular pantry. So it's definitely worth noting and trying to do it yourself before going out and asking for additional help.
Also, they can get it cut at Lowe's. They just need to measure it, give it to the guy. They can cut the wood. So, guys, don't get discouraged.
But measuring is a huge part of that. You ever heard measure twice, cut once? So if you don't have to be a mathematician and a genius in mathematics, but I really hope that you can, measure effectively.
I love that. Organizing your pantries, organizing your closet, just organizing, period. Just makes you feel like, wow, it's a new day. Spring is here. Like you said, out with the old and in with the new. Organization is everything.
So speaking of the closet, I've got a closet down here that just seems to accumulate coats and whatever else I want to throw in it. What are some other things I can do with the closet to make it more, just inviting and make it a useful space rather than just throwing stuff in it?
Yeah.
You can turn a small closet into a mudroom. I wanted to do it with my house that I'm in now, but we just bought a new house, and that was one of the things that it came with. I was just overly stoked about the mudroom. You can buy like shelving systems and benches that fit into these closets if you measure accurately. Mm-hmm. And if you have kids, that's a drop zone. As soon as you come in the house, you don't got to worry about, throwing your shoes everywhere, throwing their backpacks on the ground. There's a hook for it, right. So you can really transform that space and utilize it more, and make it more beneficial to you and your family. So I would definitely look into changing that small closet into a mudroom. No matter how small it is, you can always change it into a mudroom.
Shelving and hooks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And somebody took the door off of the closet to make it open. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So you want to make sure it's easily accessible. So removing the door, all the hardware, that would be perfect. Add a little bit of wainscoting to the back of it. It adds a personal touch. So I think that would be really, really great. You can add some baskets and things, put some of your loose items that you typically would throw on your kitchen table that you see for a whole month. And then it just starts to pile on top of all the different piles, If
it was in a mud room, it would be in a space where it's at. So drop your stuff in the mud room when you come.
Right.
But still, don't overload the mud room. Don't put the other junk that was in there before in the new mud room.
Right.
Yep. So I'm thinking I would put the coats and stuff in the guest closet, especially since it's spring. Like, I don't need a coat anymore.
No.
And the closet is just, nobody ever goes in it because it's just coats unless it's wintertime. So I'd put the coats in the guest room closet and turn that into a mud room. So I'm thinking that's my plan. So that's a good idea. Thanks for that. But what about the bedroom closet? We need help with that too.
Yes.
It's spring and I don't want to look at any more sweaters.
Yes.
So for the bedroom closet, invest in those baskets or the buckets that you can get from Walmart where you can house all your clothes. So in the springtime, you're no longer wearing your winter coats and things like that. I know you mentioned hanging your coats up in another closet, but how about just putting them away in a container and storing them in your garage, or storage unit, wherever you have, whatever you have, or your attic space, so that it's out the way. You don't need it. You won't need it for a while unless you're traveling somewhere where it might be cold and you're going on vacation. So you want to be able to utilize more of your space. So get rid of what you don't need and get more of what you do need to be able to maximize that space and make it more beneficial to you. The IKEA pack system is something that is budget friendly. You buy them by piece. You know, you measure your closet and you build your closet up by that. I know that there are so many different closet systems and companies that can come and build a lavish luxury, custom closet for you. They cost thousands and thousands of dollars and it's not worth it. They don't even give you ceiling to floor closet space. It's just a little hanging system that hangs on a wall for $4,000 or $5,000 or more. When you can buy the IKEA pack system, their parts are $200, $100, $300. All depends on what you want. You make your space what you want. Your budget is based upon what you want out of that space.
Absolutely. Speaking of garage spaces, you said put things in the garage or up in the attic. And the first thing is some people come through your home through the garage and they're like, it's shit everywhere here. Yeah. What are some things you can do in the garage to still make that space organized? Because that's usually the first thing someone sees when they come into your home.
Right. Or to put your car in there.
Right.
Good point. It's not even used for cars anymore, hardly. It's a storage.
Yeah. It's definitely a storage. And that's because they're building these houses a lot smaller and smaller than what they used to. So the space is just, that's all that you have to use. Shelving systems. Lowe's and Home Depot have different things that you can buy that are very cost effective and budget friendly. If you have bikes, hanging your bikes up on bike racks on the wall to get them out of the way. That way, if you do have a 2-car garage, you can utilize both sides of the garage and park both cars in the garage. Get things off the ground and out the way. Walls are going to be your best friend. You can use them for your tools, for your blowers, for your bikes, for anything. Get everything up and out of the way. You don't even have to worry about like the little field mice and things that come through, every time you open up the garage because everything is just out the way. So you won't have to worry about that.
Definitely those bike racks on the wall is a great idea. Thanks for that tip for sure.
I do like the shelving idea because I have shelving that's on the ground. Mm-hmm. So that's still taking up space. So getting the shelving that lines the top of the garage, like closer to the ceiling, I think we might invest in that and get rid of the shelving that's on the floor because that's taking up space too.
Definitely. I would say look into getting some help with that though, because a lot of the garages are they have like cement slab and slab walls behind it. So it's really hard to drill through those walls. So I would say that that's the one time that you should definitely reach out and get some help with hanging that shelving on the wall to get it up and out the way.
Good point.
Okay. Still budget friendly, hopefully. You get some free estimates.
You never know. You can get your uncles and your cousins.
Right. That's true. That is true. That is true. Feed them some pizza and everybody come do something.
Yes.
So what else you got, Bella?
The last tip would be fresh linen on the bed. I am going to tie this in with cleaning your air filters as well. So for all of us, we typically wash our sheets. We put them in a washing machine. We throw them in a dryer, put them on a bed, boom. But in the springtime, once spring comes, you're looking forward to warmer weather. You're looking forward to being outside. Aside from the pollen, everyone cannot wait to be able to open up their windows, drive with their windows down in the car.
Yes.
That fresh air just does something to you. Natural light, natural sunlight, natural air, all of that is just a part of good energy. So
I agree.
When it comes to fresh linen on your bed, when you're washing your sheets, when you take your sheets off, take some baking soda, sprinkle it on your mattress, let it sit for an hour, let it sit, for a duration of the time that your sheets are washing in a washing machine. Most people, you have white sheets, you're washing it with bleach. Add a little cup full of vinegar. That really helps to lock in, the fragrance, lock in the freshness into your sheets. Also clean your sheets. When you take those sheets out of your washing machine, throw them right onto your bed. But before you throw them on the bed, you want to vacuum off the baking soda off. Leave your sheets on your mattress. Open up your windows. Let the fresh air come in and dry it. It kind of reminds you of back in the day when our moms used to hang our sheets on the clotheslines. People don't do that anymore. Most people think it's a little ghetto. But I would love if I had a clothesline in my backyard because it's something about drying my clothes and my linen with fresh air versus on tumble dry. You just feel, it makes you feel more cozy, it makes you feel more fresh, and it really livens up your space.
You took me back to a Sunday afternoon. Oh my God. I love how you put that whole image together. Ooh,
I'm
I love
telling you,
that.
it's the best thing. It's the best thing. And do not forget to change out your air filters. You know, those should definitely be changed every 3 to 6 months. Most people like me, I definitely had to learn the hard way. I went a whole year without changing my filters out. It just wasn't even a forefront of my mind. But just when you're changing out your linen and everything is so fresh on your mind during the springtime, make sure you change out your air filters for your air conditioning HVAC system.
So as far as the white, we're doing all white linen, white pillowcases, white comforters, white sheets, everything white. So do you recommend doing an accent or just like for pillows or just leaving it clean?
I love pillows. My bed, my pillows start from the headboard and they go all the way down to the end. I have barely just a little ounce of space to sit at the end. So I'm definitely someone for a little pop of color, you know, on the bed with your white linen. I know that white tends to get dirty. You always want to make sure you buy, you know, a couple packs of sheets that are in white. You don't have to use white. That's just my preference. I love white sheets. You know, first thing in spring and in the summer, that's just the best thing. You know, you definitely want to get out your lighter colors. So add a pop of color. Now, my pop of color might be a little pink, a little gold, a little silver. You know, I'm not a bright kind of person, but it can be. If you got white, you can mix it with anything.
Love that.
Yes. That was like majority of my tips, and they're all budget friendly.
Those were great tips. I didn't expect them to be so budget friendly. So now I'm really excited to get my HGTV on and hit the ground running because none of that was really expensive. Besides the closet system, you might have to splurge a little on that, but that sounds good. You can buy a piece at a time. So thank you so much for being here with us today and helping us share some good vibes with our viewers. We appreciate you for taking the time out to keep it ugly with us and to help us create a space that our family and friends will enjoy.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me. I really enjoyed being able to share that with you. And I can't wait to see how you guys revamp your spaces.
Yes. Thank you so much, Bella. And if the people want to get in touch with you and they want your personal expertise, tell the people how they can find you.
So you guys can go on to my website, follow me on my blog at najabsaluti.com, or you can reach me at my Instagram handle at saluti_interiors.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Yes. So y'all, be sure to hit that subscribe button because you know we're going to have Bella back to cozy us up for the winter. Like, follow, and share on Facebook and Instagram. We appreciate the love, y'all.
And if you want to be a guest on the show or you have a show idea, you can reach us at keepingitugly2@gmail.com.
Catch us next time on Keeping It Ugly with Chanel and
Chantel.
Bye, y'all. Yay. And it's a wrap.